Nice.
All right, we're back to the A-League show, episode 69. How you guys feeling out there?
It's good to be back, man.
Good to be back in business. Good to be back in business. Better believe it.
Yeah, back on the mics.
Episode 69, we are back on the mics.
Nice.
All right, so the first
Every
topic
time you
we
mention it,
had-
I'm gonna keep on saying nice because that's of course a popular internet meme.
Right.
For obvious reasons.
But we have, we're going to start off with Delta. Earlier this week, Georgia Lieutenant Governor, who's running for governor, Casey Cagle, he said that he was going to fight back against Delta taking the discounts from the 13 NRA members that actually use the Delta discounts. He's going to use it and say, Delta, we're no longer going to give you jet breaks, tax breaks, and Delta is one of the biggest corporations that bring in the most money to Georgia. It's like Coke, Delta,
Depot.
Google, Home Depot, all those places. So what were you guys' first reaction when you saw that the Republicans kind of made this a political thing and took something so small so far?
And they made it into Kennesaw Mountain. My thing is this, it's such a mistake on so many different levels. Now, I think I did hear something where they did say that Delta is planning actually on staying in Atlanta and they're planning on maintaining their headquarters at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. But, just the fact that they would go ahead and essentially, want to threaten to tank so much of the economy just over NRA discounts. I mean, it's so crazy. And the thing about it was not only the fact that they wanted to go ahead and do this, but the fact that everybody else, like governors and politicians for other states, like New York, I think it was New York's governor Andrew Cuomo that said, "Oh, bring your headquarters to New York." The governor of Virginia said the same thing. The mayor of Birmingham said the same thing. And my thing is this: as I said in the group chat, it's one of those issues where they better watch out because Delta already has 2 hubs in New York at JFK and LaGuardia, so they better watch out. The idea of them actually going ahead and relocating was actually a real thing. And as far as Virginia goes, it's one of those issues where, their largest airport is Dulles Airport right outside of D.C. I'm pretty sure, by the way, United Airlines probably wasn't all that happy about Governor Northam of Virginia tweeting what he tweeted because United, that's a huge United hub at Dulles. But what I was thinking more so than anything else was how is this going to affect Atlanta's bid to get the second headquarters for Amazon? Because they're probably thinking like, oh, wow, they're trying to bully Delta around? We ain't going there. We're going to go to Boston or somewhere else.
It's like another bathroom bill. How they had that in Carolina where, if people had a controversial opinion about it, which is usually the conservative.
Initially cost them the NBA All-Star game.
Exactly. And cost them the tournament. I think, what did they have last year? I think the ACC tournament.
I think so.
Yeah,
like
it was ACC tournament.
Greensboro had it,
yeah.
but it wasn't in Greensboro. It was like in New York because, they didn't agree with North Carolina's lawmakers. And, so.
Yeah, lost the ACC championship to Orlando.
Exactly. You can lose a lot of money from this. So I don't know. It's either you're pro-business or you're pro-gun. That's the way that my editor broke it down to me, kind of pretty much this week. And I was like,
can't be both.
That's right. You're either pro-business or pro-gun. You want to help develop the state and continue to grow, or do you want to stand by your beliefs and kind of just be stubborn
while costing Georgia's economy in the process?
Exactly.
I mean, I was surprised, just thinking back recently with Georgia, the religious freedom law, and, just like the Marvel threatening to pull out and the NFL threatening to pull the Super Bowl, and then it was just like, it's like, I guess, it seemed like the lawmakers were just like, I guess I don't mind if Phil have a birthday cake at Publix, because we're not going to lose this money. And it was just, money talks, man. That's the way to get their attention. It's one thing to go back and forth about opinions, but when you're talking about millions possibly coming out your state, just matter who blinks first, because, like we saw with that, you lose the Super Bowl and Marvel, just like these studios that bring so much money into Georgia. It's just, it made them, think otherwise.
And the Marvel bit would have been particularly, bad because lots of studios are doing, are doing film production in Georgia because they figure, oh, California, it's way too expensive to do there because the taxes are too high. They get tax breaks in Georgia because Georgia's taxes are much lower than California's. But as I was mentioning, in terms of how this could have an effect on Georgia's bid getting the second Amazon headquarters, I was just thinking about this last night, and the way I was thinking about this like this: Amazon is talking about bringing like 50,000 jobs as far as that second headquarters. We did an episode in the past where we talked about a town essentially wanting to rename themselves Amazon,
Right.
Amazon, Georgia, if they bring the headquarters.
Like
Right.
Lithonia area.
I think somewhere in the Lithonia, it was like Stockbridge or something like that. But here's how I'm pretty much prognosticating this right now. If Amazon does not bring their second headquarters to Georgia, and it's because of this Delta flap with the Golden Dome, Stacey Abrams is getting elected governor.
By the way, there was another school shooting yesterday.
Yes, Central Michigan.
That's why, honestly, I don't really have an opinion about what Delta does. I don't really care. I mean, because at the end of the day, like David said, money's gonna talk. They're just nothing's. I mean, I'm glad that someone's trying to make a change, but at the end of the day, money's gonna talk. And at the end of the day, Atlanta's gonna host the Super Bowl next year, no matter how they try to figure out how to do it. And school shootings are gonna keep happening because you're gonna have arguments about why it's happening and what's the the solution. I mean, if we can't all agree that it's bad that kids can have assault weapons and go in and shoot up schools, then I don't know what to tell anyone, because it's not that hard of a decision. So I really don't have too much of an opinion.
I think that's the saddest part about this.
Right.
17 people died. I don't know how many kids died out of that, but it was probably like 4 or 5 faculty members.
Right.
So you're talking about 12, 11 kids died, and we're talking about we politicized it.
Exactly.
Left versus right, and I think that is getting lost. That 17 people lost their lives and 2 people lost their lives yesterday at Central Michigan, and so people lost their lives at
Virginia Tech,
the Texas church shooting last year, and 59 people lost their lives, or 58, whatever the number is, 50 something in Las Vegas last year, and
the Pulse shooting in Orlando, and the Charleston
shooting.
The
list is just endless.
It's become like where people not from the hood shouldn't have to worry about hood things.
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to. People that aren't from the hood shouldn't have to worry. If I go to this event with a lot of people, will I get shot up? Will there be a bombing or something like that? And that happens in every country where you have mass killings and stuff. But I think this is the only place where you have multiple mass shootings every single year.
Exactly. That really is in many ways the sad part about this. Like you said, so much of all of this political stuff is really getting is just really getting lost. And what is at least somewhat heartening in all of this is that those kids, those teenage kids down in Broward County, they're not taking this lying down. Like they are really trying to affect change and get people to listen, because there are lots of people, because that's Florida. I mean, Florida is one of the, it's referred to as in many ways a purple state politically, but really and truly there are a lot of, pro-gun politicians down there in Florida. Like they are really trying to, pressure Marco Rubio into doing the right thing. And that's, just one of those things that in my opinion is really been, if there's been any good that has come out of this, is the fact that, young kids, that are in their late teens are getting involved in the political process. And, and the whole thing is, a lot of people want to go ahead and, criticize them and chastise them, saying, oh, they're not even of voting age. Like that's just, that is continued, just ostracization and just alienation just because they're young children.
Yeah, that's the one different thing that I've seen, with this one, is that it's been, the young America has a voice now because of, social media has kind of changed the way that they can look at the world, because they're able to access, stuff that they may not have known about because their teachers didn't talk about it, or, they didn't have a voice because no one wants to hear what a young person had to say, for a long while. Now, I think people are starting to listen, and that's, like you said, that's some of the good things that's come out of this.
I mean, that's what I was trying to tell y'all a couple weeks ago, and y'all was like, "Oh, it don't."
You
mean
right.
much."
You were right. You were right.
I'm saying
right.
this
You called
time
it.
was so much different because it's happened and it's happened and it's happened, and these kids,
They're sick of it.
Kids, is beauty in the tragedy in a way, because, I mean, to see them just step up and say, "No, we're not taking this. We're not going
Right.
to let this keep happening. We're going to talk about this. We're going to change something. And if I don't go to school for another day in my life, because it is, a mostly, Caucasian school.
Yeah.
So
In a very rich area, rich suburb
if I
of
don't have
Miami.
to go to school another day in my life to fight for this cause before I die, I will do it, and I'm willing to do it because my parents have the money for me to do that.
They said at this rally, there was a rally that they had not too recently, long ago, where they proclaimed we're going to be the last mass shooting. We're going to
Exactly.
be the last. That is a statement. That is a statement and a half. Like, we're not going to take this anymore. And not only that, but we're also not going to take politicians, whether they be in Tallahassee or Washington, D.C., we're not going to take the idea of politicians trying to turn this into a mental health issue or a lone wolf issue like they typically. No, we're going to go to what the issue is. We're going to talk about the guns, whether you like it or not.
My fear is that, they'll do, they won't be able to, like they said, they're not of voting age, et cetera, but
Yet.
but the politicians aren't going to change, their policies based off.
That's what I'm saying, but we have
I'm just hoping.
preliminaries, what they call them,
Midterms,
yeah.
primaries.
the primaries.
I mean, I hope that,
In May.
that the change will come when they're able to vote. But
register to vote this year and help them. And because Casey Cagle, the one that started this whole thing about Delta, mind you, is the lead candidate in the state of Georgia for governor. So, I mean, if you want that to be your governor, then you already see where he's going. You already see where his mind is. So this
Right.
election is so crucial, so crucial. Please register to vote. Please get educated about the candidates.
Absolutely.
Because this is a
Yeah.
huge, huge year.
I'm just going to play devil's advocate, but I hear people talking, but people ain't registered to vote.
Every
that
single,
was my point. I'm saying that I hear a lot of the talk and that's great, but nothing has changed yet.
Yeah, like
but
remember
you got to see. All right, so the civil rights movement, right? It was like years and years and years, decades of oppression, and not even just oppression, because oppression still is, but just blatant segregation, Jim Crow laws, separate but equal, and all that, right? The colors only, whites only. They marched and they talked and they went to the things and they demanded change until they got it. A lot of those folks couldn't even vote, and if they could vote, they had to go through 3-4 ways. You know what I'm saying? Go through loops and hoops.
Yeah,
So you
right.
know what I'm saying? So these kids, you know what I'm saying? If the kids want to talk and march and all that. That's their activism. That's as far as they can go. You know what I'm saying?
That's what,
And people are gonna hear it eventually.
I mean,
And
the change will come. My point is the change will come. Like in civil rights, the change came. Those people who marched and got sprayed, and all the fights and stuff that happened, that group didn't benefit from what happened as much as our generation has.
Right.
We saw, the positives of it come way after all those battles were won. But my point with this is, okay, you can change policies about guns, but what are you gonna do as far as helping the people who, there's more to this situation than just the guns involved. Like, how are we gonna attack, bullying in schools? How are we gonna attack, all the situations with mental health issues? Like, those are real issues also that contribute to this. It's not just about the guns that shoot people.
right.
So if those things aren't going away, then now it's okay. You take away the guns, but then now you have a knife problem.
I think it's more mental health,
and don't blame the video games.
than
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
bullying.
another thing.
Than
Yeah.
bullying.
Yeah.
Like I said, we had this discussion, I think, with Keaton a couple months ago. I don't think bullying's a bad thing because it shows kids like the reality of life. Like, everyone isn't gonna like you and people are gonna do you wrong, and it isn't fair, but it's life. So I'm not against bullying. I mean, I think it toughens people up, and it causes trauma for a lot of kids. But shoot, I mean, that's life. Like, if I shielded you from this thing for 18 years of your life, and then year 19 you get hit in the face with something.
Oh,
You're
no,
not gonna be able
I
to
agree
handle
with you.
it.
I agree with you.
Yeah, right.
But with that, sometimes comes this.
Right. Well, I mean,
what I'm saying.
well, you need mental health. I think it's more mental health and counseling and telling kids like, hey, this is life.
This is how you deal
just
with
how it
this.
is, and this is how you deal with it.
I agree with that.
I think counselors need to step up, because in high school, I only went to my counselor to sign up for classes.
I mean, it's just, it's sociology. I mean, like with counseling, it's a stigma, especially in the black community, just about how getting counseling and stuff. I mean, I can't speak for the white community in terms of counseling, but I know as far as black is looked down upon, just to get that help. And, I mean, one thing I can say.
I mean, but how many black kids are doing these mass shootings at these schools?
I mean, but still, still issues going on within schools involving black kids.
Yeah.
And, they can be involved in it, just like, it's not just a white kid that pissed off a white kid that caused him to shoot in the school. It could have been a black kid that pissed the white kid off, or just like, it's a lot, it's a lot of things just going on. Some of these kids, they're not acting alone.
I just need people in the schools to pay more attention to every student. I mean, that's another issue, is that, some of these
Teachers,
educators,
they collect a check,
and then they
they
go on
don't
about their business.
they halfway
Bingo.
care about class. They
Bingo.
don't care about if the like I saw this poem, and it was like I couldn't wash. Mama couldn't afford us to go to the dry cleaners, or not the dry cleaners, but the what do you call it, the laundry mat. She can, what they call that place? The laundry. What do you call the laundry place? Dang.
The washateria.
I done got
The
too rich,
laundromat?
because I remember when I was
Like
a
the laundromat,
kid.
the
Yeah.
wash machines and all that.
The
laundromat.
That's what they call the store.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. All right, so we used to go to the laundromat when I was younger, and then we moved in the house with a washing machine, and I felt like, oh, we so rich.
Yeah, first world problems.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so
Hashtag.
the laundromat, he's like, Mom couldn't get us to the laundromat because she working all jobs all day. I had to get ready and get my little sister ready. I had to get my clothes out, the dirty clothes, since my clothes weren't clean. I had to iron my own clothes, something. I missed the bus, so I had to walk us to school and take the public bus. And teacher was mad I ain't had a pencil. Yeah, and that was something like the poem, the gist of the poem. The gist of the poem was pretty much like, you don't know what these kids are going through. And the teachers just, attack everyone like it's their situation. Like, why don't you have a pencil? Why do you never come prepared to class? Well, have you asked a kid, have they ever had something to eat? Have you asked a kid, when's the last time, they needed this, that? Teachers just don't care now. A lot of teachers don't care nowadays.
I mean, let's not bury the teachers. I mean, for one, it's a lot of overcrowded classrooms. Just looking at that, and then just the fact that it's harder there for teachers. Like
It is.
they don't get paid as much as they should.
They don't.
And
That's
the
right.
type of work they're doing.
But they signed up for it.
There's strike issues in West Virginia going on right now.
I mean, just like that's the thing. These teachers they have to really care. Just to there's plenty of other jobs you can do to make more money than a teacher.
That's
do less
true.
work.
That's a good point.
And there's teachers. I mean, there are bad teachers and there are good teachers, but I believe the good teachers out there, they want to educate the youth and change the world. But it's just you're gonna do so much. Like your school system, like they can't tell the school to give them some more money to get school supplies.
But that's my whole issue with this whole argument, this whole discussion that's going on all around the world, is that everyone wants to focus on guns because it makes money. No one's talking about the entire picture, is that, oh, there's this issue is just not just about the guns.
But I feel like, that the mental illness and all that isn't just an issue in America. I feel like that's an issue for kids all around the world nowadays.
Yeah.
Especially in America, because America pop culture, I'm not in
There's
other
so
countries,
much-
but I
there's so
feel
much
like there's so
pressure.
much emphasis on it. But in every other country, they still have Instagram and social media and stuff, and they have those same pressures, and they probably deal with the same bullying and the same. So, the only difference is they don't have access to an AR-15
Yeah. I mean,
legally at the age of 18.
Yeah,
I
I saw somebody, I think somebody retweeted something about how it, the process that it has to go in America to just buy a gun, all you had to do is pass a background check, which really isn't really all that much of a background check. But in other countries, you have to take like so many different steps, and it can take like a month or 2 months just to be even, able to own a gun. Whereas, in the United States, all you had to do really is just pass a background check.
This is me giving my political opinion, but if it takes like 6 years for a kid who came from Mexico to the United States when they were like 2-3 years old to become a citizen of the United States, then I don't think that it should take, 15 minutes to buy an AR-15.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's like it's so much. And as far as the process which we was talking about in terms of high schools, as far as teachers go, it's just one of those things. I feel like that as far as teachers go, there's only so much that they can do as far as the schools, to ask, for more money, for lesser class sizes and just overall better education, because where is most of that money being put,
The money's going into building the schools.
The money is going to building football stadiums.
A new auditorium, like you said, a new football stadium. That's what Marietta's doing, my alma mater.
That's what Texas does all the time.
Why can't we put that money into the classrooms and improving the classrooms? And
I mean, if they want to promote the thing is, if they want to promote the idea of fitness and everything, then I can understand. I can understand to a certain point putting that money into athletics, but it's not like you can just ignore the educational side of it as well. I mean, it's important.
Every school isn't doing that. I mean, the schools that are putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into their athletic programs also happen to be some of the wealthiest school districts in the country. So
true.
It's okay. Like my alma mater, Clark Central. I mean, they haven't upgraded their stadium since forever. Like that's been the football stadium they've had. It's been the same.
It's like
bleachers.
that in Marietta.
And so
until I graduated.
Yeah. So I mean, it just depends on the area. I mean, I don't have an issue with people upgrading their, football, promoting their kids. That's what the athletic program is supposed to do. Promote your kid. But, that problem is that's not really a school district problem. That's how much money's in the area problem.
Maybe like the local government's problem. I mean, because you have to raise the taxes to do that.
Right.
You have to,
and those people who have a lot of money
and-
don't really
and-
mind
and
doing it.
And
though.
people vote for it. They're like, yeah, I want to. But I feel like, instead of proposing to put increased tax dollars for stadiums and to make the school look better so you can take pictures and just brag about how great your school is, you can add more classrooms, add more teachers.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. But there is something to be said, my school looks, I mean, it gives the students a little bit of high self-esteem as far as going to school.
Right.
Going
to school there.
True.
And then like it's like that the old newspaper argument of like news versus sports.
Right.
Because this one dude was like, oh, y'all don't report on education enough. We're so-and-so in test scores for SAT and ACT, but y'all talk about every game that was played in the county, and it's like, well, you gotta have a sports section.
Of course.
So I mean, like,
It's not like people don't care about sports. Of course they care about local sports.
Speaking of sports, what's the next topic?
Speaking of sports,
We got the combine, and we got a UGA sweater over
Yo,
here.
Of course.
my guy,
Yeah,
Saquon Barkley, man, killing it out there. But the one thing that I always remember after every year at the combine is it doesn't matter at all. Robert
just
Davis
watched the
had the most
combine.
impressive combine out of the blue last year, and it didn't really matter. He's still drafted the last day of the draft. He's still practice squad after standing out in the preseason because he went to a smaller school, so he had that leverage.
I mean, the combine is just, it's, once again, I understand everybody wants to, everybody pays attention to it, but really and truly, there are lots of people, probably myself, I'm among one of these. The highlight of the combine for me is seeing Rich Eisen run the 40-yard dash.
I love that part.
That's the highlight for me of the combine. Everything else is just, window dressing, because, you can see what one of these players looks like when they're running the 40 or anything like that, doing other stuff at the combine. But until they're actually in pads, until they're actually in a uniform and they're on that field against other big dudes, it really don't matter all that much.
One of the best combines of all time, 2006, Vernon Davis. Where is Vernon Davis right now?
Thank you.
He's in Washington.
Yeah, he's in Washington, but he's like
not
a backup.
He's not the Hall of Fame talent that he was at the combine.
Yeah, the combine,
Right.
exactly.
Me personally,
he was a Pro Bowler for 1 year.
me as a football fanatic, I absolutely hate the combine. I hate it because yesterday I saw I got so many text messages because I'm a Georgia fan. Oh man, I didn't know Nick Chubb was faster than Sony Michel.
I was one.
Yes, I knew that. We all knew that.
I was one of those people, by the way.
I got plenty of messages.
Well, my bad, here, man.
I mean, it didn't bother me because you were the first one to text me. But after a while, I was like, okay, man, come on now. Like, y'all had to know he was faster. He ran track for 4 years and won a state championship.
I had no idea. I thought the guy was just like a little bowling ball.
But that's what his football tape says he is. So that's what he is to me.
Don't put people in the Hall of Fame just based on the combine.
I was expecting like a 4.7, 4.6, and I was like, okay, he's like a little, Josh Masali. He's analyst guy. He's a little thick guy.
You saw the O lineman running a 4.8.
Why did the lineman need to run that?
Then Jameis Winston. That lineman is hard, bro.
Who cares about what an O lineman is?
David
blocked for the quarterback.
No, David saw that. That man, he be catching.
Oh yeah, the Pittsburgh O'Neal.
Yeah, she is cold.
But he happens to be a very good left tackle. So,
exactly.
He would be a good second or third round pick because of his tape.
I want him.
Yeah, man, I played offensive line before, and you never run 40 yards.
Not at once.
Yeah, like
when you score a touchdown, you walk down there.
You might get lucky and get like, somebody like get a big run, and you get to the second level and block a linebacker or even a DB, but that's like 20 yards.
At most.
Yeah, you're not gonna get after your running back break that big touchdown. You're not gonna. You only got to knock over like 7 guys, and you got other guys out there doing that. You're running. It's track meet.
Yeah.
Like Chubb, I was impressed by him, man. I was just like, I'm sold on him. I was like, I need him Carolina round 3, round 2. Just like
shout out Shannon Sullivan.
I think
there you go.
He'll be a decent back. I'm not saying he won't be. Like I can see him having a Frank Gore like career. But
that national championship was ugly.
Yeah, that's mostly what Nick Chubb will be at the next level.
So
because he's up against NFL talent.
So looking back, I know like being unbiased, I'm unbiased because my team won in that game, but maybe you can be unbiased with this game. But did you think like with him running out there, did you think it was just Bama just played those gaps real well, or is his vision?
It's his vision. It's all like every big game against an opponent that keys on him, he hasn't had a great game. Really think about it. Other than that one run against Alabama 2 years ago in the rain, he broke Herschel Walker's streak for how many 100-yard rushing games. That was because of one long run against Alabama's backups.
The Carolina game. That was a big game because it was a season opener in the Georgia Dome.
I can't think of a big game Nick Chubb's had in a big game. Now Sony Michel is different because, against Alabama, going into that game, I was like, Sony Michel gonna have to win it. Sony Michel and DeAndre Swift are gonna have to win this game first. I never even considered Nick Chubb because I knew he wasn't gonna do nothing. Right. Because it's just not his style. He's not a big game runner. He can't create for himself. He's basically Jimmer Fredette.
I told
running back.
The Carolina game was a big game.
Yeah.
He did well in that game, right?
Carolina's not a big. Oh, you talking about North Carolina?
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Carolina's defense was awful. Though.
But he had a big game, and that was a big game because it's in the Georgia Dome.
But against an awful defense. Okay, I'm a big game with a good defense.
Okay.
Hey, he say he can catch. I was like,
I can catch.
Because some of these running backs, they're pretty dated. They can't catch.
Yeah.
Sony Michel is the new prototype.
Yeah, Sony Michel's nice. I would love him, but I just think he's gonna be like a late first round at his rate.
To tease the NFL, we didn't have this on the agenda, but a couple of Falcons moves. Tololo was cut this week. And then also they're talking about trading Devontae Freeman. There's a little trade rumors. Devontae Freeman.
Talking about the Orlando better.
Yeah.
He's just
he's talking. He's just talking. But I'm saying
it's the offseason. There's only
how
so much you can talk
disappointed
about.
has Freeman been? I kind of. Did we all agree that the Freeman deal was a bad deal?
Yeah, you remember? I don't know if I said it on the show or not, but when they signed him, I said, why? You have Tevin Coleman.
Or the money they gave him. I wasn't mad.
I wasn't mad at the money. I wasn't mad at the money.
I wasn't mad at the money. But the money made him the highest paid at the time before Le'Veon Bell signed his deal.
I wasn't mad at the money because he earned that money. But He's not a long-term back.
He didn't earn the money to be the highest paid dude in the NFL.
He kind of did at that point.
Yeah,
No, but you got to see overall, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
you
we
know
knew he
in the
wasn't
future
an
he
elite
wasn't gonna
talent.
live up
Yeah,
to that contract.
I mean, he's nice and the scheme fits him nice with
Yeah.
the zone blocking, but the only thing that worries me is his concussions. But
Yeah.
it's just it looks like Coleman's probably gonna be the odd man out in the future. But you know, like
With all that money they throwing around on that defense, to keep that defense together.
I'll put it like this: if a team comes to me and tells me I'll give you a 3rd or a 4th round pick for Devontae Freeman at the draft, I don't even breathe more than twice without saying yes.
Yeah, I was just tripping out. I was AJC Ledbetter. He's like the 10th overall pick for Freeman. I was like,
Now that's ridiculous.
10th
like-
overall.
I don't even think you can get the 10th overall pick for Matt Ryan.
Right.
yeah, I was like,
So-
I was like, all right, Saquon Barkley, you know, like, and Geis should probably still be on the board at 10.
No.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley may
No,
be the
no,
number one.
10th
Barkley,
overall.
yeah,
That's just ink
Barkley's gonna
slinging
be
on their
gone.
part.
You guys saw Aaron Donald got traded
To where?
to the Dolphins.
No, that's Robert Quinn.
No, Robert Quinn.
Robert Quinn. My
man.
bad.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I was saying someone from the Rams.
Robert Quinn.
Yeah.
Someone from the Rams
That
got traded.
That
Robert
scared
Quinn.
me. I was like, please tell me the Falcons got him.
No,
Yeah, I was,
Robert Quinn got traded.
Yeah, I was tripping out because I was like, you know, it's, they got a lot of money on their defensive line in Miami. Like, they just gave Andre Branch a big deal, and then, you know, Sue got his huge deal, and then you have, and now you got Quinn who's making some big money, and I'm like, you usually don't put that type of money on your defensive line. And it's just like, it's weird, and I thought he would have been a good pick up for Cleveland or some. Or
I'm surprised
this-
he got traded.
I mean, he's not, you know, the scheme that they run in LA is like a 3-4, and it's like a
It
3-4
didn't fit
hybrid,
him.
and it's just like he's better with his hand on the ground. Like, I was like, even New England could have benefited from him and stuff. Just like, a lot of teams should have lined up. He's an elite pass rusher. He was playing
Out of position, honestly. Yeah.
So it's like Vic Beasley.
He's better than
Like-
Beasley.
No, he's
No. I mean, but
he's more
you
like
know-
John Abraham.
You know how Beasley like couldn't do anything last year at linebacker when standing up.
Yeah,
He needs
exactly.
his hands
He needs
on
his
the
hand in the
contract.
dirt.
No,
Yeah, that's
like,
what I'm saying.
No, I'm just like Beasley.
He's just not good.
He just had, if you don't have a
Beasley's decent with his hand in the ground.
No, he's
No,
not.
if you don't have a free shot, he's useless. Like, I've seen him get shut down. He has no technique.
If you get your hands on Beasley, there's nothing he can do.
Yeah.
Most pass rushers, if you get your hands on them, they can get you off of them.
Like, I was watching the Dallas game, and I was looking at how they use their hands.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, Cox, I've been in
Yeah.
Falcons training camp back in, like, 14.
Right.
He's teaching them how to use their hands. And I'm just like, no, 15. He's teaching them how to use their hands. And I'm like, you can't, and I know Quinn, he's coaching Seattle, they use their hands. And I'm like, Vic don't use his hands.
He don't use his hands. He doesn't.
Claiborne, he has great hands. You know, Freeney had great hands. Grady got great hands.
Yep.
What's the upshot? He had hands. And I
Yeah.
was like, Beasley, no, it's just like he's a one-trick pony.
Yep. He just he tries to run by you, and if you catch him, that's the end of the play for him.
Yeah, because like I was like, I remember the New England game, he was shut out, and he.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, I thought like maybe they just triple team and double team and stuff, but it's just like
Nope.
I see him get lost all the time. Like, he put a good, because he plays on the right side, the weak side, and that means you play against the worst
worst
line.
tackle.
And
Yeah.
you should be dominating. Like, he never switches or anything. Like, some good linemen, they can switch over. He doesn't
Yeah.
switch. So you should be dominating. And
I don't know. Sometimes I seen Vic affect the game, even when he wasn't doing anything.
I
like,
mean,
you know,
he
statistically.
affects the game
I
just
seen him
because of his
affecting the
speed.
game, right?
But like Dave was saying, when I look at like the NFL draft's coming up, when I look at a lot of these linemen, I look at how they use their hands, because that's the most important part of. It doesn't matter how big you are in the NFL as far as playing defensive line. Like, Aaron Donald's very small. He's 6 feet tall.
Grady Jarrett's fair.
Grady Jarrett is very small, but those guys are elite users of their hands. That's why they're going to be great players forever, because that doesn't go away. That's one skill that you always have is your hand.
Blocking.
yeah, I was like, he only picked up one thing from Dwight, the spin
The
move.
spin move. That's all he does.
And then I seen him try-
That is all he does. That is.
and I was like, he don't even do that right. I see him spin around and just fall on the ground. I was like,
I seen Vic.
He needs to just this whole offseason. I really hope he reaches out to Von Miller, because Von Miller had the same
it's-
skill
I
set
think
coming
they-
in.
I think they did something. Didn't they do like a pass rusher camp like last year?
I hope so, because Von Miller uses his hands, and he's a linebacker. So, like, Von Miller can do what Vic the Falcons want Vic Beasley to do, but Vic Beasley's not athletic enough to be out in space.
Right. Yeah, 'cause Stan Norfolk, he brought up a good point. Just like, don't be surprised when Atlanta gets another defensive end. Because I look at Tech, I wasn't really that high on him last year. I mean, like, yeah, he had a good speech last year, but I was just like, UCLA and this guy, I was like, I never heard of this guy and stuff. And it's just like he used his hands, and it's just like
he did it in college though.
Yeah, he can stop the run. And Beasley gets lost against the run. I can't remember how many tackles for loss Beasley had. I can't.
You said don't be surprised if Atlanta gets another D in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look. If Michael Beasley comes available, not
Michael Beasley, huh? Come again?
Michael Bennett.
Oh,
yeah.
Michael Beasley. That's a rumor.
Seattle about to blow it up.
That's a rumor.
They ready. I think they're giving up on the air.
Yeah,
they max out.
That's actually a rumor now, but
oh really?
Yeah,
I hadn't heard that. I mean,
I heard
that would be
yesterday.
natural.
I heard it yesterday.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Well, it makes sense for having Michael Bennett in a city too.
Yeah, I just don't know if they'll do NFC to NFC because it's very likely that Atlanta and Seattle meet each other.
Like you said, money talks.
Wait, if Bennett goes to the Falcons, he has to come on A-League. Like it has to happen.
Yeah,
somehow, some way.
Yeah. No, I don't want his brother though. His brother can stay where he's at. I remember last year. I was one of those people. I thought he would make nice in Atlanta, but I changed my mind. I'm like, I don't want his brother there.
You see
he'd
how
be bad for the locker room.
He was so dirty, man. He did Green Bay. He said, I can no longer play for the rest of the season. Aaron Rodgers out. I can't do it. A couple days later, Martellus Bennett has signed the New England Patriots.
Wow.
He said, it feels good to be home, man. I feel all right.
He played the next day.
He played, but he got hurt again, and he was out for the season. So he was actually hurt. He was just playing through it because he wanted a ring with New England. But he said
he still didn't get it.
He said he still didn't get it. He said he was going to retire at the end of the season. He said that earlier when he was with Green Bay, so we'll see if he...
I hate to break it to him. He's not that good anyway.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool.
He had a couple good years.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Chicago.
That's okay. Cool.
That was neat.
So is Stephen Ridley. Where is he now?
Yeah, I forgot where he's at.
Man, Steven really had flashes of greatness. Where is he? You're right.
Exactly. He plays for the Falcons. Backup.
But then again, playing for the Patriots automatically makes you look better than playing for the Falcons.
He was on the Falcons
All
at the end of
considered.
last year.
I didn't know that. I knew. I was surprised Trevor Knight was on the roster. I was like,
I told you. It don't matter. In the NFL, NFL stands for not for long.
The NFL stands for not for long when you're making them
Oklahoma
calls.
quarterback.
Oh.
Talking about the Oklahoma quarterback.
Yeah.
They used to. Where did he end up after Oklahoma? Texas A&M. Texas A&M.
Yeah, it's like I remember he got put on because of Katy Perry and then.
Yeah. He lit up Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. I think it was the Sugar Bowl.
The black quarterback. He's black.
No.
He's white.
He's white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he went to A&M.
Yeah, he left Oklahoma and went to A&M. Baker Mayfield came in and took his job.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah, he's a white guy.
Yeah, it was,
Baker Mayfield talking about he'll turn around the Cleveland Browns.
Well, he has to say that.
Of course.
I mean, he got intangibles. I mean, I like him.
No.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield is not going to turn around the Cleveland Browns.
I don't know many people on earth.
It's gonna take an amazing, once in a generation talent at quarterback to turn the Cleveland Browns around.
His name is Josh Allen.
Because RG3 ain't even that bad.
Josh Allen will be the first pick in the draft, and he will change the culture.
I don't know about the number one.
Okay.
RG3.
I got him going to Arizona.
Okay.
Watch Cleveland, the only team to have this many number one picks and still be trash.
Number one pick.
I don't know. The Hawks have been pretty trash for forever. So.
The Hawks haven't had number one picks year after year.
Yeah. Hawks were actually pretty good a few years ago.
Cleveland had number one pick like that. I mean,
this is the first one they've had since.
No. Cleveland had a decent squad back in like 07.
Yeah, with
Derek Anderson and the tall receiver, what's his name?
Dante Stallworth.
No, not what's his name? Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards. They
had a decent squad, and then Peyton Hillis.
Peyton Hillis.
Hey, Cleveland has some teams, man. It just feels like they've always been trash because they went away for a couple of years, so that automatically makes them trash.
They were in Baltimore. They went to Baltimore. Then they gave them a new Cleveland team.
I mean, I watched a lot of them last year, and it was just a lot of it was on Kaiser. I thought he was going to step up. I thought, a lot of it was on Kaiser. Like, they literally had games won. The defense kept him in the game, and he would throw that pick. And I was like, oh, my gosh. Like I remember the Green Bay game. Like, he got brushed. He threw the ball in the air, and I was like, oh, my gosh. And then what's his name? The UCLA quarterback for Green Bay. Hundley. Yeah, he threw the ball to Devontae Adams, got the win. And I was just like, there's just a lot of those games. Like,
I remember that game.
Won like 6 games last year. Everyone for Kaiser. Like, he threw those costly picks.
I'll say this about Cleveland: if they are able to get their quarterback with their first pick and then parlay that second pick into some more picks, they're not that far away.
I want them to get Minkah Fitzpatrick. Like the way like they got Jabril Peppers playing free safety like a deep outfielder. That's not his game. And it's just like y'all should have drafted Malik Hooker last year. Y'all want somebody to do that. But they got this guy, you know.
Does everyone see what I was saying last year when I told y'all Jabril Peppers wasn't gonna be good? Does everyone see what I was saying now?
He's out of position.
He's not a safety. He's at best a linebacker. I told people this last year.
Like
I got laughed at.
Like a money backer.
It's kind of short.
I mean, so was Shaq Thompson.
Yeah, just like Greg Williams. He's just like, you know, he did a pretty good job. He's gonna do what I tell him. He's like, you know, if he wants to do otherwise, he's gonna be an intern for one of y'all.
I forgot. I have some friends on the Browns. Myles Garrett, Zane Gonzalez, and then Jabril Peppers. Those my guys. Shouts out to y'all.
He won't be on the Browns for long. I hate to tell him.
Shouts out to y'all.
That's what I'm hoping. Like, just get Fitzpatrick, move him over to Strong, and then they got like 3 second-round picks, and then they got I think 2/3. You know, it's like,
man, this is a GM's dream.
Yeah, they got like over $80 million in cap space. Like, the only thing I would say if they get what's their free safety name in LA? With the Joyner.
LaMarcus Joyner.
Yeah, they get him because you know he played under Greg Williams. But then again, I say you still gotta get Minkah to put him at corner.
I don't trust Alabama defensive backs. I like Minkah, but he's an Alabama defensive back.
You don't like Humphrey?
No.
He was straight
for 1 year. Like they all are. They all are good for 1 year, and then they quit playing football.
Oh, you like Derwin James?
Who?
You like Derwin James?
Who was that? Oh yeah, I like Derwin James. Yeah. That's the best player in the draft to me, but he won't get drafted like that.
Yeah, it's so confusing because I got to figure out where Roquan's going to go because like they're like right around the same spot, so I don't really know like who's going to get picked.
I mean, they probably like if you check out my NFL mock draft, they go 9-10.
Plug.
Yeah.
Such a shameless plug. By the way, you mentioned something, Jeremy, about you feel like the Hawks have already been trashed. They were pretty good, for a few years ago.
Here when they were fake, when they had the fake 60-win season with Paul Trillsap.
Could y'all see LonzoBall on the Hawks?
No.
Could y'all see UNC no Zoda ATL?
Well, no. Someone brought up a very good point because they were like, you know, when LeVar said they were only going to where the 3 sons were going. And then he was like, you don't think the Atlanta Hawks will want that? He said the Hawks are promoting this tender marriage, you know? Hawks have tender night.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of years ago, a couple met at tender night, and they're getting married.
Oh, yes.
They're doing like...
Now, I like LeVar Ball, but he need to keep the Hawks name out his mouth.
No. LeVar didn't say that. Someone, this was like a random commentator that was like, you don't think a team in the NBA would take all 3 Ball brothers for some attention? He's like, the Hawks are having this tender marriage thing. And
I mean, it's marketing. I mean, a lot of teams have different marketing.
But when the Hawks get good, they actually compete.
Right.
Like some teams get good and they're just average regardless of what happens. Like the Memphis Grizzlies are always just going to be average.
I don't know, man. They pushed San Antonio. I think
they beat San Antonio?
Well, serves Memphis right because they never should have left Vancouver.
Exactly.
Yeah, like with Atlanta, it's just like gotta have some marketing because it's just like you just want to be, you know, you can't sell off your name. Like the Lakers could throw out, get Smush Parker right now, Kwame Brown, and have them play alongside Brandon Ingram. They're gonna still sell out.
Yeah, because they're the Lakers.
Yeah, it's like the Hawks. You gotta have something like, you know, like.
But at least the Hawks have the city to market. Like some of these areas, man. Like
Atlanta is much more easier to market than Memphis. No disrespect to Memphis.
No disrespect, but like
Memphis is a cool place.
If you're down to Atlanta or Memphis to live in, you're going with Atlanta almost.
You're going with Atlanta 90% of the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's an exciting time. Like, I like the fact that they are, marketing, because they could easily just gave up and just be like, come watch the other players on the team. They could easily do that. I lived in Charlotte area one year, and it's just like their marketing doesn't even compare to Atlanta's. And all they try to sell the Hornets name being back. And, nobody cares about this. Football. It's a football town, and you're the third most popular team in your state. Third most popular basketball team in your state.
Oh,
so,
man.
Wow, right behind Carolina and Duke.
Yeah, so it's just like you can't.
Ouch.
And North Carolina State.
Yeah.
And North Carolina.
North Carolina State is not ahead of the Charlotte Hornets.
I don't know
They
about,
be-
I
they
don't
be
know
balling,
about that.
man.
I don't know
North
about
Carolina
that.
State keep a good team.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was listening to radio last night, 92.9, and they were just saying, like, last night shows that Atlanta is a sleeping giant in terms of being a basketball city. It's just a matter of having people come on and see
It
the
is a
players.
basketball city.
So I haven't seen the players on the other team. So, I mean, like,
Players on the other team said, Kevin Durant said that last night.
I mean, but who wants to watch boring
Kyrie Irving said
basketball?
that.
Like, that's it is a sleeping giant, but Atlanta likes excitement because we grew up watching excitement. We grew up watching Mike
do you
Vick.
think
We
blood
grew
system's
up-
boring?
Yes.
How would you define it?
Who? Bud System?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
It's boring.
I mean, like,
It's championship basketball.
It's championship basketball, but you got to have exciting talents to play that system.
Right. You need a superstar.
it's like,
I mean, John Collins, I feel like can be an exciting piece because, like, seeing dude come out last night at the locker room, he had chains on. I was like, yo, this could be a cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, Atlanta could really embrace this dude, but it's like you got to be better than what he is. Like, he's just all right. So it's like if we can get someone better than just all right,
And have that
Colin
personality.
Sexton would be great. Colin Sexton would be exactly what you're looking for when you're talking about star, want to market, and all that.
I don't know. It's just like he don't talk.
No,
like
he
you said,
doesn't do social media.
Yeah,
He
that's what's
talks.
been that.
But because he had 2 viral moments last year and he don't even have social media.
What were they?
Yeah,
I mean, are you trying to be
when,
funny?
When, it was he was playing Penny Hardaway's son at an AAU tournament, and then Penny Hardaway was the coach, and he's walking towards the bench. He's like, "Is that your son? He's trash. He's trash." And then like that went viral, and then he had the one where he was at the free throw line, and the dude was like staring at him, and then he like stared back at him and stuff. And then Yachty fool with them both because they went to high school together, so they cool. Young Bull and Boat. I mean, it's just like it makes too much sense. Colin Sexton in Atlanta for like that. That is your perfect marketable star. He's not the best player in the draft that you should take at that pick. You should take Ayton. But I mean, shoot, I would trade up with your 3 other picks and try to get in the top 10 and get Colin Sexton.
I mean, I just don't. I mean, like one of the things that these stars is just social media. Like you look at you talk about Kevin Durant off the court. Social media. Just like you look at Steph Curry. He has a big social media presence. Like that's one of the things that separates LeBron. That's one of the things in Atlanta. We're a sleeping tech giant. This social media is real big here. And it's just like I think that's definitely important. I mean, maybe if Sexton incorporates that into
But he's a big trash talker. He took 3 on 5.
I mean,
and scored 40.
Atlanta's had
what
trash
was that,
talkers in the
39?
past. They had Dante Jones and a
Oh,
lot.
but they weren't good.
I mean,
Colin Sexton's good.
I agree with both of you. I agree with both of you.
you're right.
I'm not taking Sexton with the number 1 pick.
No.
But if we somehow are able to
I'm
find a
doing
way
whatever I can
to get back in the top 10 to get him.
The way that the Braves got Dansby Swanson,
Right.
we're doing whatever we can to bring this man back home. That's the way that the Hawks need to be with Colin Sexton.
But I also agree that with David because he was saying, some of these, like Joel Embiid
Joel Embiid.
got famous based off his social media presence
Right.
before he even played.
Right.
So,
I mean, but Colin is big on social media.
but that's what I'm saying.
Even though he doesn't personally use social media,
Well, if you-
he's a popular
if
like
you get that
internet
kind of
player.
star with that first pick,
Right.
like Ayton, he's a guy that probably
He's boring, but his personality is.
Yeah, he's boring, but he's the best player.
Oh, yeah,
he got
he's
a
the best player,
He got a
yeah.
larger than life look too. That's
Right.
the thing. Like he's on the court, you'll see him. Like
Right.
you look at the current Hawks right now, it's just it's just 5 guys. But like he
Oh no, Shooter kind of stands out.
No, he's like
Shooter does kind of stand out.
Shooter stands out with the sleeves and the patch.
he's little. He's little. It's just like
And he has the gold patch.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes him stand out.
Like he looks kind of like a I dare to say it's star. He looks like a star out there, you know? Like
He looks like a star, even though he's not exactly a
cool,
star.
He's cool with Quavo. He's like, he thinks he's a star, so that gives off the perception that he's a star, but he's not.
But
KD cool with Quavo too. He was giving his jersey.
true.
Quavo's cool with everybody.
Yeah.
True.
Including LonzoBall.
For a minute, I thought Quavo played in the NBA. I was like, is he actually a part of the league?
You know, I was talking to Eric last night. I think Quavo is slowly taking 2 Chainz' spot as like the biggest celebrity Hawks fan.
Yeah.
I mean that represents the Hawks as in terms of like going to the game.
But that's Georgia in general. Like he's taking over the Bulldogs too. So
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he's not.
Well,
really,
he's from Athens.
I don't
Falcons
know.
will be
I've been
next.
seeing him at other games too. So I mean, it's kind of takes away from that.
I mean, but he goes to random Hawks games. Like he will go to a random Hawks game.
And the
I
thing
mean,
is,
you
he
see-
actually goes.
I
for a
mean, you see
change.
Gucci and 2 Chainz do the same thing. It's just like I just hate the fact that this dude's over here commentating the Warriors game and stuff. I'm like, come on, man. That's like, really? I'm like, you guys, like, I get like money talks and stuff, but it's just like, you're just the hot thing, and they're just trying to put you on everything. It's not like, like you come see me exclusively at Hawks games and stuff like that.
What's the
like,
problem about
Hey, when
that?
you're in high man like Quavo is.
What's the problem
shoot.
about that? I
Ain't
don't see
nothing
a
wrong with
I
problem.
mean,
that.
it's just like the transplant mentality and stuff. It's just like, we don't have no hometown pride.
I mean,
But he's from
You
here.
know how you get hometown pride? Win championships. That's how you get the hometown pride.
I mean, like,
Almost happened.
you don't see Spike Lee over here on.
that's true. I
Yeah.
mean, but his team has championships.
I mean, it's,
When you go your
And plus
entire
it's New
when you
York.
go your
That's
entire
basketball mecca.
when you go your entire life without seeing your team win a championship, like it gets old. Because I'm at this point with Georgia and the Falcons. They got to show me. I'm not gonna be on social media talking, going back and forth. We better than y'all. I'm not doing that no more. I'm done with that because they continuously blow leads in championship games. There's nothing
Right.
I can say to nobody.
It's a Georgia thing.
No, I don't. Just show me. I'll celebrate. Show me.
Lonzo Ball, really quick, 1 minute. He has such a high basketball IQ, it's ridiculous. Seeing him in person, he is really good, and he only had 13 points, but those were a very impressive 13 points.
Yeah, he definitely is a lot better than I thought he was in person. I would say that. I mean,
That's why I wanted to talk about this. He's improved so much from the beginning of the season to now,
he does a lot of little things that people don't see.
and I don't think
Yeah.
a lot of people are giving him credit for it.
Because he's overshadowed
They're
by
still
everything
calling
going on
him
with
a
LeVar.
boss.
Yeah.
Well, no, people just look at points too, and they base it
Yeah.
off of how many points he had.
And the jump shot isn't as bad. It's ugly.
But it's not as bad.
It's not as bad as people make it out to be.
Yeah,
So
he can get around with that because he does it really fast now.
yeah.
It's like, so I mean, he was 4 for 4 in Atlanta, 3 from 3 from the 3-point line, and then a 2 and then a couple free throws. Dapped up rail from Migos, which really pissed me off. I'm like, bro, why are you standing up, man? Clearly cheering for the Lakers. Like, come on, man, you supposed to be managing Migos, dog.
The thing is that I think it was the Hawks Twitter account. The last couple of games, Lakers and Warriors, they were like the Hawks Twitter account, like really getting on like people that were
Fans,
that were just like bandwagon fans.
This was perfect. This was perfect. But all right, episode 69
In the books.
the A-League. Everybody go around and sign out.
all right, this is David Norwood. Twitter's at DNorwood90.
Jeremy Johnson, Clark _ Kent _ 75. I get a Superman on. Sometimes I forget, I don't go on Twitter like that.
RashadMilligan.com. You can follow me on Twitter at the Big Baller Brand, baby.
Akeem Balaam, Twitter, Graham Beyond the W. Check it out.
Triple B's.